Here at ComicCon, it's the time to have false lead-ins where the camera turns itself off while we're introing an interview. And where else would that happen best than Bluefin and Bandai Tamashii? Hello again.
Hey. Yeah, it sucks that it cut out. I mean, I did a double backflip. I usually only do it once.
It was pretty amazing. It was right over some cosplayers. And,
did over some cosplayers. Yeah, right in front of the Michael Jackson display, too.
He pulled the pose, too. I was impressed.
I won't do it again, but it just to let it know, it happened.
Well, you guys have I think the biggest display I've seen yet, as I spotted booths with your guys' logos on it here, over there, and in like the other room as well.
Well, that's Bluefin's got 3 booths going on right now. Yeah. The highlight, of course, is Tamashii Nations.
Yes, well, you guys have like a million display cases, and it's a buzz here.
It is. We got a lot going on right now, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you guys have got SH Figuarts going on as always.
Yeah, SH Figuarts is still our biggest category here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Most on the West Coast and the East Coast. So we got a lot of that going on here. Brawly is a big thing right now. Brawly's here, and I'll pre-order shipping soon.
Yeah.
And Vegito we have out in that display case. That's another Figuarts highlight. We're here at Comic-Con, so it wouldn't be Comic-Con without some comic characters. We got our Injustice DC Batman.
That was
unveils here.
Yeah.
First time ever, New York Comic-Con, Superman sculpt and full-colored Harley Quinn sculpt here.
So you guys are going full in on the Injustice thing.
Yeah, well, the Power Rangers 20th anniversary is over. There's only a limited amount of characters we could do for SH Figuarts. We have Figuarts 0. So we need something to fade into, and we're going with Injustice for now. It's going to be a good ride.
All right. And so you guys have 4 characters out so far, like 2 heroes, 2 villains.
Right.
Injustice, that's a very, I might have even said this last year, it's a very North American-centric license.
Right.
So is it something that's still being marketed over in Japan? Is that going to be like web exclusive over there or full retail over there?
I can't comment exactly, but it definitely, if you look at our previous history of strategic categories like Mighty Morphin, Godzilla, I would see a shift to the web exclusive, but still an open market release over here.
It's cool to see such an American license hit SH Figuarts.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys also did in Monsterarts the Alien and the Predator.
Right.
But like this is like full on like a fighting video game.
Well, the characters have a lot of recognition, especially Batman, and so that's what we started with. As we get into other characters outside of the Batman sphere, a lot less recognition.
I imagine Superman would be in that position easily.
Well, Superman, not enough recognition, but not as much character power or I'd say figure popularity as Batman. But even beyond that, I mean, we're doing the poll right now, and we're asking what other DC characters do the fans want. So, Green Lantern, Flash, they're all in there. These are characters that wouldn't be such big sellers in the Japan market.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys are going through with it. And I said this before. I'm hoping that working with something that NetherRealm worked on can hopefully lead to at least the talks about Mortal Kombat of some kind.
Well, fighting games are something that we haven't actually really tapped into. We did the SNK, the fighters, and there's always we did do Chogokin trading figures way back when for Street Fighter, but we did Blaze Blue.
Yeah.
Blaze Blue. Mario's on a roll right now, so we're going to continue with Mario. We were going to Luigi. We got him here. In the fighting game, we'll continue with Injustice, but it remains to be seen. I mean, where we're going to go with fighting games, in a broader, because they're comic characters with, the comic character.
There's a double draw in there.
Exactly. He said it.
And I know Batman has going on. Is Superman going to also have the deal with the alternate head with the?
Yeah, everybody's asking about that. Right now, at this point, we haven't confirmed that. It looks like we might not use the mask. The whole idea was that Japanese like full cowling.
Yeah.
They don't like half cowling. Like Rider-Man was like the most unpopular Rider, and the one reason why Iron Man is popular and why Spider-Man's always been popular is it's the full face. So that was the idea with Batman and Joker, which wound up being a gas mask. We don't think we really need it now going in. I mean, it was kind of just something to hype it up. Yeah. We're not sure if we're going to do it or not for Superman.
Alrighty, and I'm sure the question's been asked, but this license is fully Injustice. There's currently probably no way to move into like just a basic comic book design for other characters.
It's something, the DC the DC universe could be explored a lot more. Fortunately, Warner is very cooperative licensor, a very supportive licensor, so it's foreseeable that we could branch into other elements of the DC universe or other interpretations, including other video games, you know, Arkham stuff as well.
I am sure Arkham would go over quite well in SH Figuarts.
It's always been, but it's still so early to tell because, I mean, pre-orders have been really strong, the fan reaction's been good. We're very confident in the sculpt on this one.
Yeah.
So, you know, Western characters aren't necessarily our forte, but I think we nailed it with this one. And I think it's going to change the game up with this one, with this release. The product development team on this one was really on the ball. So I think, fingers crossed, you know, end of the year and early 2015, we'll look at how it does. And then from that space, you know, fan reaction. There's Xavier, by the way.
There he goes.
Yeah,
Xavier's been very busy.
Wheeling boxes, I know. I usually like to get an interview with him. We do funny things together.
I know. I'll see if I can corner him sometime tomorrow.
Maybe sometimes you get a separate interview with him. You can talk about some other aspects of the booth as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Injustice, the only other thing I wanted to mention is it looks like you guys have some heavy die-cast use going on in there.
Well, I would say heavy, but it's in some key areas, and it shows off that we're not just about articulation. We're not afraid to use die-cast where it's necessary. And yeah, in the chest area, the shins will be good for balance. Belt buckle as well, or die-cast.
I'm thinking heavy mostly in comparison to a lot of, say, the Rider or Senti stuff.
Oh yeah, well, compared to Rider, where some of it's just ankles and that sort of thing, or there's nothing at all, definitely a lot more die-cast. For an SH Figuarts, that's not 100% mechanical.
Yeah. We've also got like a...
It's okay, you can keep it.
No worries, man.
No worries. Somebody's taking a photo of Naruto stepping on Michael Jackson's face.
Yeah,
we can only see that here.
There's a shot that should be in here somewhere of Michael Jackson riding Godzilla.
I would like.
As well.
There was, he was riding Godzilla, and the hat's been going around. Godzilla was wearing the hat. Kitty was wearing the hat at one point.
Yeah, I like the idea of this like play area, kind of like a. A fun desk to mess around and do stuff.
Action figures are very tactile, so we want to incorporate a lot more touch and try opportunities for the fans because you don't really understand unless you play around with them.
Yeah, and then the other thing I want to branch into is Michael Jackson, music arts stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least what, you know, in my head it's still music arts.
Okay. Daft Punk, Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I'm happy to see the Michael Jackson like get the full release.
Yeah.
Is music arts pretty much like? Is there anything else in the pipe for music arts?
What we've done in this year's poll is we've thrown every genre together. So we've got anime, we've got movie, comic. We even threw in a musical artist or two, and it's all in one SH Figuarts, one question poll to really gauge, how many people want it.
Like, what do you really want?
What do you really want? Do you really want music arts, or would you rather have something else? Because they only get a certain amount of strategic properties to go after. But I think it will continue. There's a lot more demand for other variations of Daft Punk. There's a big demand for apparently Freddie Mercury.
I remember that from last year, too.
Yeah, we're a big demand for Freddie Mercury, which we're very surprised to see. And that's still there. It's still on our radar. We don't come out with assortments, so people are going to have to wait maybe a while. But those things that are on their radar, they're going to stay on there, and fingers crossed, will come to fruition soon.
They're taking all the sub-brandings of SH Figuarts and kind of like piling them all down into just one label. That happened a couple months ago. Yeah, D-Arts and stuff like that. Was that mostly just for the sake of simplicity? Trying to like focus?
It is, and the template was basically the same. And the template for Monsterarts is different. It's a little bit different scale-wise. It incorporates its articulation, but there's also a heavy focus on the sculpt as well. So Monsterarts is still Monsterarts.
Yeah.
There was a debate, even though there was a license issue, so we couldn't do it here. But Sadako, there was a debate on whether that should be a Monsterarts or a Figuarts. It's a horror character.
Yeah.
It wound up being Figuarts, but there's some other interesting things that we're considering right now for Monsterarts that might be more humanoid, but still monsters. So we are looking to search.
2 arms, 2 legs.
2 arms, 2 legs. Not a kaiju.
Yeah.
But I mean, Alien Predator. There you go. So that was Monsterarts. But I wouldn't. There won't be a consolidation of those two.
Alrighty. Well, with Monsterarts, you guys, the big news right now is Gamera. So he's taken over a lot of the spotlight. Is that going to be happening in North America as well?
Gamera's okay for North America, so we'll be releasing him. That's why we have him on display here. It's the first time we've displayed in the US for Gamera.
Awesome.
Very timely, too.
Well, yeah, it's a shame about Sadako, because I was going to ask one more question relating to licensing, which is, I know you guys on Facebook and on social media, it was clear you guys were trying real hard to figure something out for Kamen Rider Gaim. Was there something in particular that caused that not to happen as opposed to other?
It has to do with the most recent titles of Kamen Rider. Sometimes we're not able to do. They're under consideration for some reason. But anything that's a past title has generally been okay. Some of the recent most popular titles, fortunately, that where we do the redo, you know, with like the SH Figuarts where we're doing the bone scan and the new level up proportion, like Kabuto, has been, you know, met with huge success. Fortunately, we were able to do that. Now Shadow Moon, we're doing like the upgraded version of Shadow Moon. So those are still good to go. Okay. Kamen Rider Black, you know, all the past ones are good to go.
I guess just because I'm sure someone will ask it, is there going to be some point in the future you think where the Gaim Figuarts might retroactively be able to get a North American release?
Yeah, you know, as a reissue or something like that, if that would ever come out, it would definitely be an option, so long as it's not a web exclusive. It would definitely be game, no doubt about it. If it came out like sometimes next year, if there's reissues on anything.
Awesome. So like sometime in the next year, it'd be good for people to just make sure it's known that there's an interest for the Gaim stuff.
Yeah, I know there's interest for it. We know. I know you're a Kamen Rider focused fan base, but yeah, and it's good. It's interesting to see how the reaction to that has been really strong, but it's not like at the same level as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
For sure.
You can make it that way, but it's up to you. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, Power Rangers did real well for the last, the last year or so for that anniversary setup. I guess because you guys are sort of beholden to what is happening just in SH Figuarts worldwide. Like Sentai Figuarts, it seems like they're not done, but they've stepped back a little bit as far as frequency.
Well, Sentai Figuarts were coming out with so much frequency because there was a 20th anniversary, but there's something else coming around with the Akiba Ranger.
Yeah.
Now that's not going into a third season right now. There's really nothing on the plate. To be honest, it's really the U.S. market that's going to drive that with the Figuarts Zero version right now, because Mighty Morphin is by far the strongest popularity. We're looking at ways that we can take it into different categories.
Yeah, and I'm sure like if it can line up to have like another one of those older Power Ranger series Japanese counterparts getting Figuarts treatment, can turn into something. A lot of people have a lot of interest in Soul of Chogokin Gaogaigar, and there are a few like Super Robot Chogokin releases around that as well.
Yeah.
Is that still?
And there's also, don't forget, there's a Next Dead style out there as well.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to ask about. The smaller one, SD style one. Is Gaogaigar stuff all still looking real good on track for North American releases?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing all of the Gaogaigar stuff here. It's great, you know. It'd be nice to do like a Voltron, but no, I mean, we take a Deltanius, lions on the chest, robots. They work really well here, and the licensing's fine for it. We're doing the Soul of Chogokin. It's out on pre-order. Limited quantities globally, though. It's a high demand item, so
yeah, it looks pretty
extremely
intense.
High demand. A lot of sellouts, as we say.
Oh, very cool.
Hey, don't forget our buddies. We have Tamashii buddies out here. I know you're more about articulation, and your fan base is very core, but they're pretty good sculpt level, and they're pretty affordable too.
I was checking those out. Those are like not really SD, but a little SD.
Slightly SD, but still really accurate on the facial sculpt, high detail.
Yeah.
Oh, and going on the other range, don't forget our EX Figuarts Zero, the new one that we just unveiled here, the big Super Saiyan 3 over there.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what that was.
That's new. That was a first time ever. We were unveiling a first time New York Comic Con, just like Superman.
That is very heavily painted.
Yes.
That looks really good.
And we're going to continue unveiling those at the Tamashii Nations event later this month in Japan, end of the month.
Are you thinking that maybe Figuarts Zero might, in general, like move heavily more into that direction of the?
No, I think we're going to both. I think we should. I think they should both coexist, because the Figuarts Zero is actually fairly easy on the wallet.
Oh yeah.
And this is going to be less easy on the wallet, but the fans want that high-end stuff too. I mean, Brawly is not a cheap purchase, but the fans are going nuts over. Pre-order wise, it's pretty crazy right now.
I'm not as into Dragon Ball, but I love his arms.
Yeah.
The means by which his arms seem to be working is
pretty cool.
They're eye-catching. Rolling muscles everywhere.
Very bulgy. Well, the reason why we did him was just because of a fan survey for the U.S.
Yeah.
So we're listening to what the fans say. That one was based on that. For Naruto series now as well, we have the same sort of thing. We already have all the data for Dragon Ball, so we know exactly the game plan's been laid out. Yeah. Now we're trying to figure out what the game plan is for Naruto.
And for a lot of Dragon Ball fans, I mean, it's been said that North America's like driving the Figuarts Dragon Ball line.
Yeah, it's our biggest character property for Tamashii Nations in the U.S. right now is Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it's like still going on.
Still.
So with some of the older releases of Dragon Ball Figuarts,
we made a Dragon Ball catalog even just because of that. So
I noticed like a complete collection.
Yeah.
With some of the older releases, like there are a couple very prestige, sought-after pieces. I know people have asked before. I may as well, throw it out there again. What are chances of reissues of some of the crazier ones, like
Vegeta,
yeah,
Super Saiyan Vegeta? Well, this year was a Vegeta year for San Diego Comic-Con because we had the exclusive, and we don't have a set policy on reissues for web exclusives, so I couldn't really say anything. I mean, Goku Figuarts Zero was a reissue web exclusive. The most easy one to do would be a reissue of Gohan because it was a open market item, but we have to think about carefully because it was an exclusive in Japan. It was open market here, but can we do that? Yeah, we could do it with Power Rangers for like maybe White Ranger, Kiba Ranger. It's a possibility because it was released as a original U.S. packaged item here, non-exclusive. So, but we're talking about like the same exact SKU, same product code. Can we do that if it's a web exclusive? What'll happen in that case? I know the demand is super, super high. One other option would be to change the product specification, do something else with it, some other Super Saiyan Vegeta version.
Like level 2 or something like that. That was something else that I forgot to bring up. With Power Rangers all done.
What I just said is probably going to drive up the aftermarket price of
it's not coming out. It's like, go buy it. eBay just shook.
It's already huge right now, but it's going to go even further through the roof.
With Power Rangers all done, and we were talking about Japanese market stuff. Is there any chance of Boy coming out over here? The male Yellow Ranger. Because that was Japanese exclusive.
Now, we're not going to release him here, but the Saban said they would be totally game for it, I think. And actually, but it was the reverse situation. The Japan fans wanted the female sculpt. I think what it is this is going to be like the one time I'll tolerate gray imports going back and forth. It's kind of interesting. It's like, what are you going to do? Just let it fly. I don't think it's not going to happen. We're not going to release a Japanese package version here.
There's not going to be
the packaging for the U.S. versions is actually, to tell you the truth, really, really nice. We purposely added in a little bit extra for the U.S. packaging.
And a lot of people seem to be real jazzed about that.
Yeah.
I did see something about a Robot Spirits Chogokin kind of thing.
That's
going
right.
on.
Yeah, that's mainly for Asia because they like Gokin, anything Gokin. So we'll be offering limited quantities, and it's open for pre-order right now.
Okay, cool. So any word on the kind of licenses they're entering into that so far? Or?
So far, I would expect it to be strictly Gundam for now.
Okay.
But I mean, it could be anything in the Robot Spirits realm, I'd imagine. But right now, it's just this one item. It's a wait and see type of thing. See how it does.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there was some buzz when we saw the.
Well, we're not all about just articulation. Creative use of die-cast material, like I said before, is a good thing. So, it's kind of an offshoot, if you will, of Robot Spirits.
Okay, cool. Any chance of Tony's Sofa getting a U.S. release?
No. I mean, I can't get Marvel. Maybe the Sofa is non-character, but maybe Tony's. Kinnikuman was a license issue, but we could do the wrestling ring here, so that's coming in.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I know a lot of photo people who were buying an Iron Man toy mostly for a sofa.
Mostly for a sofa, yeah. A lot of our distributor Bluefin was asking for the sofa, so I gave him a bunch of those.
Oh, sweet. All right, well, thanks very much. Yeah, likewise, and have a good rest of the show.
Yeah, thank you for all your coverage.
No worries.
We love you.
I love you guys too. I'm going to live here.
All right. I'll park out a sleeping bag for you. You can watch after our stuff.
Excellent. My hotel room ran out.
Your hotel right here. Cool. All
right, well, take it easy.
Thanks, Angeles. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
You too, man.